Guess what's getting an expansion? Welcome back to the table. Today we are not talking about a game that we've just played. We're not going to give a review of a game. We're not previewing a game. We're not doing any of that. We are talking about a new expansion for the Lost Ruins of Arnak. It's called
The Missing Expedition. It was just announced, so we're not here to really talk about the game because no one has seen it. No one has gotten to play it yet, but we did get to watch the trailer, so we're going to speculate a little.
I'm sure someone's played it.
Okay, fine. We, of the two of us, we
haven't played it yet. So if you're thinking, well, why am I listening to you? Well, we've combed over the information we have received, which isn't much more than what you've received. In fact, we looked at that trailer really closely. We even stop framed. I'm not kidding.
No, we spent a lot of time looking over those new cards and characters and things.
The trailer shows the player boards kind of come by. So let's start. Before we get all of that, let's start what's in the new expansion.
Well, yeah, there's a ton of stuff in the new expansion. I mean, a ton of stuff that you'd expect to see in a new expansion, especially for Lost Ruins. New cards, a new new research track.
Yeah, double-sided.
Which is good. 2
research tracks. I'm assuming it's a double-sided board like they've done in the past. Some new helpers.
Right. New assistants, new artifacts, new cards. And more of everything.
2 new leaders.
Well, that's the part that really is a draw. If you haven't played the Expedition Leaders expansion yet, do yourself a favor and play it because it does really change up Lost Ruins. What it does is it gives each of your expedition leaders who are in the base game just all the same, it gives them personalities and variable powers and what are almost like, well, not almost, they are little mini games that are being played while everything that's happening in Lost Ruins is happening. You're playing your own little mini game on your player board, and I'll say that these 2 new expedition leaders really seem to lean into that.
I think they do for sure. This one, the first thing I noticed is their player boards demonstrate things that would suggest even more of that mini game vibe. We'll start with, so the 2 new leaders are the journalist, and then the other one is the mechanic. The journalist, we'll start there, looks like they're logging what they've discovered, what they've experienced out there with like photography, writing about them. And on their player board, there's these 2 little tiles that go in set that look like there's probably more than just those 2. Right. Otherwise, why would they have them
That's what I was going to say. Just the fact that they leave it in set and you add the tile, unless there's only 2, but it matters which one's left and which one's right. The placement of those tiles could matter.
My hunch is that it has something to do with potentially the research tracks that you're using. Because the little tokens that you put on them have little pictures, and I can't remember if those pictures are from the locations.
Could be both.
Or if they're pictures of the things that are depicted on the research tracks.
I'm not sure. I mean, the photographer, the journalist, gets a lot of what looks like photographs, and I think that as you play the game and as you like take these photos or write these little articles or journal entries, you take these tokens from your supply and put them on your player board. It might be that
that's what it looks like.
It might be that they start on your player board and you take them off, but I think you put them on because there's a variety of different bonuses that you can get.
Yeah, some of them look like bonuses. Tokens. Some of them look like bonuses. Some of them almost look like payments because some of them have the little instant lightning bolt. Some of them do not.
Yeah, it's weird.
Plus, are they artifacts? The other little tokens you put on your player board?
Yeah, the idols, the little idols.
Yeah, the idols.
Yeah.
So most of the player boards have space for more than 3. The journalist has 3 of them, and then there's 2 more over there with the newspaper area. So I don't know if there's an association with unlocking those so that you have access to them or what.
Yeah, what it seems to be, because we kind of looked and tried to figure out the power. Again, we don't have the rule book out yet or anything, so we're just kind of guessing. But it almost looked like that his power is activated. It has something to do with the research track, but also maybe where your meeples, your guys are out on the board. It looks like maybe those photographs, those pictures might correspond to the different areas of the board, and maybe you're writing about where you are at the time. That ability looks like it's an instant effect that has a lightning bolt, but then some of the bonuses you gain, some of them also have lightning bolts and some of them don't. So it looks like maybe you can trigger that ability as an instant, but then based on which reward you want, it might not actually be an instant.
Yeah, so if that's about as clear as mud, you're about where we are.
It looks cool, though.
It does look cool, and we have a little of speculation to do on the mechanic as well. The mechanic has an actual dial that turns on their player board, and she has these, like basically they look like little bonuses that you can get throughout the game as you're playing by doing something.
rotating the wheel somehow.
What we don't know, but something's going to let you rotate that wheel, and it looked like as you rotate it, you're going to trigger getting some of those bonuses. And the wheel looks to start with like 4 bonuses that are sort of on silver gears.
Yeah, like basic ones, like getting basic resources,
yeah,
like
basic
compasses
resources.
and coins and things like that.
And then it looked like throughout the game, you're going to get access to pairs of gold tokens that are other portions of the gears that go in between those gears, and that will, trigger off and be better as you get them.
Right.
But it looks like you're going to be making some choices though, because it looked like there were 6 of those tokens and maybe only 4 places for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that when you take them, there are some rules to where you can place them, but I think you're going to have to end up replacing some of those gold ones that are on the board. And also, what jumped out to me about the mechanic was...
monkey?
Yeah, the monkey. The mechanic
literally jumped out?
It does look like it jumps out. The mechanic has spots for 3 assistants, but one of them is like pre-printed with a monkey on it, and it looks like when you get to the second round of the game, you unlock, instead of gold tiles, that round you unlock a monkey assistant, which is pretty cool.
Like I said, this took a fair amount of frame by framing on our part to even see this in the trailer. Yeah. But yeah, those are the 2 leaders. And then the other, really, I think the big hook here is...
this is the biggest hook.
There's a campaign aspect to this. Now, the campaign is for solo or for 2 players. Right. We don't know if it's for any 2 leaders or if you use specifically these 2 leaders when you're playing it.
I don't know.
It's hard to tell. But the campaign looked like it had a fair amount. You're going to be adding like multiple creatures to locations, and then also, I don't know if they'd be event, but they're like discovery, these cards that you will get, and it looked like those discovery cards had, do
choices,
this, some choices. And from what we could tell, it looked like the choices just led to different bonuses that you get.
But I'm assuming that there's some narrative stuff. I mean,
you're on the hunt to find the professor.
Right. It is a multi-stage, it's like 6 games, I think they said, campaign.
Something like that.
There was already a solo campaign that was released online. People can download and like do a print and play. I don't think that this is that campaign. I don't think that. I think this is new. So if you've already played through that, you have an idea maybe of kind of what to expect from the campaign. I didn't play that, so I don't have an idea. But it looked super interesting, and the fact that you can play it solo, I think, is a huge draw too.
All right, so let's wrap up. I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you think this will be the last of Arnak content? Really?
No way.
I
do not think that this is going to be the last for a couple reasons. First of all, let's be a little pragmatic. CGE is in this to make money, and this game sells so well. This is always going to be in print. It would be silly of them, I think, to just stop making content when people are still hungry for it. Also, that's my cynical point of view. But from my more optimistic, like what they can do with this system, I could easily see something like what Dead Reckoning did with the sagas, where you have almost a series of campaign, like this is campaign expansion 1. Now there's a new campaign, different stories that you can play. And also, they can release those research track boards forever. They could just keep releasing new research boards.
They could, but
just to spice it up.
Just to be contrary to what Ryan's saying, I'm going to stand here and say, today, this is going to be the last of it.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. Do you think there'll be more Dune?
Dune, I don't. The only thing I could think of, again, is
and I just had to bring up Dune because everyone loves that comparison.
I think Dune is done unless also they release some kind of campaign mode. I could see that happening for Dune. Some kind of like...
Dune 2, Electric Boogaloo?
Well, I could see a Dune Imperium 2 in the future. I could see a Lost Ruins of Arnak 2 or something, eventually. I could see that happening. I don't know if they're done with the base game, though, or not. I mean, we've only really had one real expansion, which was the Leaders. So...
That's true. We'll I do think the property's big enough to where they could actually do spin-offs.
I mean, I would love to see more stuff in the Lost Ruins universe.
Anyway, we just wanted to get on camera and talk a little bit about this. We're both excited about it.
I'm very excited.
We're big fans of the game.
Yeah.
We like the last expansion. Although I have to say, since that last expansion, I think I've only played it twice total.
Well, I've played a ton of
that.
Have
you really?
Oh, yeah. I've tried every leader at least once now.
Oh, wow.
It's great.
Yeah, so we're going to try this. If you have any questions about it, we probably can't answer them, but put them down below.
But we'll discuss it with you guys.
We'll discuss it. Let's all speculate together. Until next time, though, make sure everyone has fun at the table, and we'll see you then.